house phone. I'm in the house before dinner.
We call this house Concerts and Hondos. It's the backyard. We've set up the deck when we're building things here, when we're remodeling things here. We made half the deck a little higher because we knew we wanted a stage, and that all came about. We started 3 years ago, so this is our third year of doing them, and it's never been a genre so much as anything else. But I guess if we had to say, we've lended itself to mostly Americana, bluegrass. But you get Frank Jones in here, and you get a lot of '70s stuff gets played. Chris Wolf comes in with a lot of comedy. You get Cade Puckett in here, and you're listening to classical finger picking styles in the Jerry Lewis or Jerry Reed and Chet Atkins vein of things. It's more about supporting and promoting local musicians than it is the actual, we're a country stage or we're a bluegrass stage or anything like that.
Yeah.
Everybody's welcome here.
And that's the vibe I get when I'm here.
All right.
It's very laid back.
Yep.
And everybody's really respectful of each other's space.
Yep.
And the music is always top notch. It really is.
Oh, we've been incredibly blessed with the people that we've had come through here. Hammer and the Hatchet. I mentioned Cade Puckett, Chris Wolf, Frank Jones, Chuck Wills, the Aker Brothers, Otto and the Moaners. Chris Dollar has played here 3 times.
Chris Dollar,
from the Hen House Prowlers and the New Old Cavalry. Pat Otto's been in here with him as well. Barry Elkins, going back, old school with him and Picker Dan.
Yeah.
Lucky and the Kid.
Yeah.
Keenan Rainwater and any variety of his friends. Richard Gist has played here. I mean, the quality of the music's just been phenomenal. Then we've had some out-of-town bands come through. Well, you saw Chance Stanley, Hillbillies with Guitars come through. We had Joe Mascherette from the Tillers, and Joe's Truck Stop has been here. We're looking forward to having him back.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And that hasn't been by design. We've just been incredibly lucky. The stage is available, and that's the whole kind of idea here at House Concerts at Hondo's. We make a real estate available to a band.
You have fostered a home for music that is not a traditional home.
No.
In some sense, and in one sense, it's a traditional home.
Right.
But it's so low key and so close to my house. I never would have found it without the private invite. So.
Right, that's kind of it. We were public for 2 years, and I did something 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, I came out of WFHB Community Radio and got involved through that with a lot of musicians, both Brown County and Monroe County. That led to several years being an MC up at the John Hartford Memorial Festival, which just opens the doors to a whole new, traffic and path of music that comes through. And it's odd how many people are connected and know each other and play in different bands. John Bowyer, Hammer and the Hatchet, he used to be with the Pumpkin Holler Boys, and you can connect them a dozen different ways to, a bunch of other people. And then Muddy Boots Cafe, I can't not say something about them. They had a huge effect on live music when they were up and running, and that was a regular place, and the stage was there all the time. And when that shut down, that kind of left a big void for local musicians to have a place to play, particularly in what you were talking about, a comfortable atmosphere. I don't want to say friendly, I mean a lot of friendly, but they feel comfortable at Muddy Boots. It was family.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you get hired by a hotel or hired by somebody's wedding or to do a gig, there are certain margins and boundaries that you have to work within. You can't play this loud, don't play this song, we want you to play some of these songs. And far too often it becomes background noise, and you hear the stories of Opal Fly played at the 19th hole, and they asked her to play softer so they could hear what was on the TV. And that's the opposite of what we have here. This is a concert.
Yeah.
And we focus on, we talk to folks. So here's what I say. the kind of attention we want you to give to this band, you can pick up your phone and you can take a picture of them, but you can't pick up your phone and show the person next to you a picture of your kids. You know, this is a focus thing,
Sure.
and we want, and the bands love it. Joe Bollinger told me once, from when he was with the Lean and the Plenty, he was up here with Dakota Curtis, and he said and he said this to the audience, having a group of people focused on you while you're playing is like cocaine for, for a musician.
Yeah.
And while at the same time, I also know a lot of musicians who play on a stage with nobody in the audience just to have a stage to play on.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
But to kind of round this whole thing out, what we try to do here, what I say to the artist, and I say to any artist that would like to come here, and you're welcome to come here, we provide the real estate. I want you to come here and take this space and do whatever you want with it. Play loud, play soft, bring friends in, stop, let's start over again. That didn't work. Try out some new music that you haven't done before. Caitlin Spangler with Mickey Arden, she said, I want to play over there because I got songs with cuss words in them, that I can't play anywhere else. I said, yeah, you can play them here. You can play anything here. You can do whatever you want here, within the margins of good taste.
Sure.
And all that we ask, or all that I ask on behalf of the audience, is that you get to let us watch, or you let us watch.
Yeah.
And that's what we dig, and it becomes this very intimate thing between the band and the audience. Like you said, everybody's very well behaved. We've never really had a major problem of any kind here. We're here to enjoy music, and with the COVID going on, that's a whole other thing I imagine we'll talk about in a sec.
Yeah.
But it's always been that kind of vibe, to just kind of hang out and have a good time.
Well, tell me a little bit about how you got started with music in general. Are you a performer yourself?
No, I am a consummate listener.
All right.
I've got some friends one of my best friends in the whole world was on tour with Bruce Springsteen as his percussionist.
Okay.
And Hall & Oates and Bon Jovi he's with right now.
Oh, wow.
And we grew up together, and he, I never learned to play an instrument particularly. I'm trying on a guitar now, but he always said you're a really good listener, Hondo, and that's important,
It is very important.
And I've followed music my whole life. I've been involved in theater and bands, and even in band I twirled rifle. I just wanted to be around other people that played music.
Sure.
And that's kind of been my vibe forever. Got into the DJing on a radio station. And people say, what do you play? I say, everybody else's music.
Yeah.
And there's something about, and Spence, you know this, bringing live music into your personal space is fulfilling in ways that if you don't understand it, it's almost impossible to explain.
Yeah.
It either works for you or it doesn't. My dad, bless his heart, passed away some years ago, 90 years old. He never had a radio on in his workshop.
Really?
Man collected records, never played them.
Oh, wow.
It was just. Huh. So some people are into it and some people aren't, but I'm definitely of that ilk that life is better with music, and life is even that much better with live music.
Yes, it is.
So this is as much to bring things in, that kind of energy into my space as anything else. Primarily, this is to promote and support local musicians.
Yeah.
We do a $15 donation, suggested. Everyone's welcome to give more, or no one ever has to give anything.
Sure.
But 100% of that goes to the artists. And if there's artists out there, I hope you heard that. We don't make any money on this. I don't want to. 100% of the donations are going to go to whoever plays on the stage. And we do pretty good. The people who are here are of the same mind, and they want to support local music.
Yeah, it definitely has that feeling that everybody is here to listen to the music. They're not just here running around socializing, which is important and fun too, but they're actually here to listen. And as a musician, I have played so many shows, and I don't think anybody was listening, including some of the other band members sometimes.
Right.
It's a lot of work to get there and not feel like it's worth it to anybody else. So to have a place to come and play, that people listen, that they want to hear you, that's a beautiful thing that you're creating and providing for this community. And in these times, there's hardly anywhere to play at this point.
There's not. particularly with COVID going on and so forth.
Yeah.
But even before that, the idea of this beyond what we're doing here was to expand this. Pay attention. I always said to other people that were interested in doing house concerts, this is not a competition. This is a co-op. Ideally, if we had 4 or 5 houses, doing what we're doing here, everybody could do a show once a month, and then the community would have access to this type of music every week.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've talked to some people who want to do it. The COVID thing's kind of slowing us down and so forth. Keenan Rainwater's got a fantastic thing going on over at Rainwater Studios.
Yes, he does.
Switchyard, I hear coming back or are up and running. I don't know the actual situation over there with them, Tim Baker and what they're doing over there.
Yeah.
But we just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
The musicians there, the well of music is available to us. We just have to figure out as music loving community how to showcase that. And I think you're doing that. You're down at the Mike's Dance Bar.
Yeah.
And the Forever Fest stuff that that we're doing.
Yeah.
Those of us who love this just need to keep working towards that.
Yeah.
And things click. This clicked. We're not talking about a ton of people. We get 30 people out here.
Yeah.
But that's a nice group to have.
And it's 30 people who want to be here to hear the music.
50's my goal. I'd like to get 50 people out here, $10, $15 a piece. Bands are taking home $500 to $700 for a show. That would just be heaven. That'd be great.
Well, I have been calling this the Hondo style.
The Hondo style.
Where did you come up with the idea? It seems simple enough, but it works so well.
The grid?
The lines and the grid on the ground and kind of define a space for everybody.
My brother and I, my brother Gunner, who's been staying with me this summer, it's been a real treat to have my brother back around me. He's lived in Florida for a long, long time. And he's a construction guy, and his mind kind of works in, squares and corners and angles and so forth. We're looking at the space out here, and pretty much everybody used to just spread out. But we took a wheel to it, a measuring wheel. We got 60 feet back and 90 feet across. And we, put a calculator, put a pencil to it. And we came up with the idea that we could create in a grid 28 15 by 15 foot squares. And so we came out here with contractor string, the stakes, staked it all out, and then a spray can on a wheel, that they do for marking gas lines and things like that. And we just ran it, and we came up, if you're in a 15-foot square, we're supposed to be 6 feet away from each other. 15, if you're in the center, you got more than 6 feet on every direction, and everyone else does too. So that puts you, 10 feet apart in the worst case scenario. 28 squares. We've had 30 people out here before. That means everybody can have their own square. Normally we're seeing 2 people, maybe 3 people to a square.
Yeah.
A little walkway in the center. Used to be that people would come in and I love to cook, so we'd have a big spread, we'd have a carry-in, we'd have wine and beer and all this stuff, and we just shut down the whole house and put a 10-foot perimeter around the stage, and the bands come in behind the stage. The stage behind your camera here. Bands come into the stage. We've got plenty of electric hookup on the back over there. They set up, they stay on the stage. Jackie and I and the family, we stay here on this side of the deck. Everybody's got their space out there. We've got a porta pot from Reed's that handles everything out there at the Bill Monroe Park.
Yeah.
Super nice folks to work with. And let me tell you about that. If you're thinking about doing this, I'll just tell you. We wanted to get that for the first show, and they said it's $150. I said, well, we've sprung that before on food and beverage, so we'll do that. And then we called them up, and we said, you didn't pick it up this week. We didn't want to pay for a separate week. And they said, oh, it's $150 a month, whether you use it once or you use it, 30 times. And I'm like, well, okay, we'll just take it for 3 months. Just leave it out here.
Yeah.
And they come out once a week and just make it beautiful.
That's
Sanitize
incredible.
it. So, it's next to nothing to have nice hand washing station and that all out there. So it became a BYO everything.
Yeah.
People are showing up with blankets and picnic baskets and bottles of wine and coolers, and it's just been fantastic.
So you've been doing this for 3 years, you said. But
Here at this space, this is our 3rd year, yeah.
Have you lived at this house longer than that?
No, that was
Okay.
about 3 years.
Okay.
I, what I do for a living is remodel abandoned houses, vacant houses,
Okay.
and so forth, pick them up in tax sales and different things. And this was one of those houses.
I see.
I started seeing it, and the space in it, and where the sun comes down behind the trees, and standing out here with a hammer in my hand, going, "This would be a cool place for a concert." And
Yeah.
I just moved in, and I'll be here for a while yet. Jackie and I are pretty happy here.
Excellent.
And the concerts just started when we started.
Well, please keep it up.
You keep it up as well. Foreverfest is a real important thing, and the way that you showcase the different things that are going on, it's important. People need to know where to go. I
Yeah.
really appreciate you talking to me, and
Yeah.
if we haven't made the point, all bands who are interested in having a place to play for any reason, this stage is available to you. Find Pappy Hondo on Facebook, and then I'll put it in touch with the House Concerts at Hondo's site on Facebook.
That sounds
And
good.
there's always something we can do to give you a place to play. All we want to do is watch, listen.
And maybe record it.
Well, ever since you've been here, yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you for your time.
Hope I
I
didn't
really
talk too much.
appreciate it.
I get a
Oh, my
little
goodness.
rambly on
Oh,
things.
me too.
But it's good to have you here. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Betcha.